So back with the action from the back end of this round 2, and it's Tom Cousins against Liam White. So two players you probably will be familiar with. You'll certainly be familiar with Tom Cousins as two-time world champion and favourite for most tournaments that he enters, or up there amongst the favourites. Liam White maybe not so much, but he must have been living under a rock, because Liam is a great talent from Stoke-on-Trent. He plays out of players, and I think he's practices a lot with Gareth Potsley, Kendall, so he's really, I mean, it's just a hotbed up there. Jimmy Croxton uses the club too. Neil Raybone, I mean, there's just one after another. And of course, Jake McCartney. I think Liam struck up a good friendship with Jake, and Dec Brennan, who's spending a lot of time over there. So, and it's showing. He's always been a good player. He's always been a solid player, but it's showing with his recent form. Just won an event last weekend, the Challenger event. I think it carried a first prize of £5,000. So he's off the back of a hot streak. Hard to envisage much else than a high standard of pool in this one. Controlled that really nicely, running off two cushions, landing perfectly on the black. So he had two bites at the cherry, but take the chance he does, and he wins the first frame. Another thing that features in Liam's game, he's got a monster break. I mean, bearing in mind this guy is he's not a tall lad. I don't know what he is, 5.5 feet maybe just slightly less. He generates a lot of power, and I don't know if that's maybe low centre of gravity. I don't know. It's often the players that are shorter just seem to have a big break. I mean, Chris Melling, not the tallest of people. Oh, look at that! What have I done? Just bigging up his break. He crunches one and loses the cue ball straight into the left centre pocket. Of course, another player with a huge break is Tom Cousins, one of the biggest breaks in the game. And you'll notice both of the players, they both tend to keep it fairly simple. My memory isn't the best, but I can't recall Tom ever really reverting much to the cut break. You see some players switching between the two. You see some players favouring the cut break. Tom just tends to play in the similar way to the way Liam played it just a moment ago. Just puts it just off centre, a few inches to the left or right of the centre spot. crunches the front ball. So quickly becomes one frame each, and in just a couple moments we'll get a look at Tom's break. So they both generate a lot of power, just given their total difference in stature. Tom's a big guy, tall, and generate a lot of power. Yeah, a long cue action. Whereas Liam much more compact, but not dissimilar their breaks. Let's take a look. So there you go. Just coming slightly wider. You'll often see him play that break from just right of centre, just left of centre, in the same way Liam did, but Tom just came slightly wider there, maybe just 6 inches to the right of the centre spot to our right. Finds some success. He pots the ball, but not much of a break really. It's all the balls in one half. Not a pot you expect him to miss, but I think it was the shot before that let him down. I'm pretty sure he was just trying to finish another inch lower down the table so he could take the yellow that's just below the red, just below the black spot, just to clear that one out of the way, but missed his position, had to reroute to the yellow in the middle. Now a great chance for Liam. Missed balls from both. So we get another look at Liam's break. Again, just doesn't seem to be timing him quite right. He's a little shake of his head. He's not happy, but he didn't time that well. You saw the cue ball. He lost it straight away to the side cushion, which means he's not hit the sweet spot. He's hit them on the side. Very nice shot. Just tough enough pot to make, but perfectly developed the other red. And now a great chance. Not a kiss he wanted, but it could have been a lot worse if he'd have caught that even slightly thicker. Would have pushed it up on that side rail, but he's absolutely fine. Very gifted player who can really make this game look simple. When he's on form, it's fantastic, and probably by his own admission, he's not been on absolute top form over the last sort of year or so. But even at moments like that, he still gets deep runs in tournaments. You still see him at the business end. Yeah, it's been a while, to be honest. He's not sure when his last UK Tour event win would have been, but I know we missed a year, but yeah, gotta say he's due another big win, due a title. I know he did win some when he moved across to IPA as an amateur. Neither player making a ball off the break. Tom gone dry off of this one, but Liam having to take on the yellows. Both sets have a bit of a problem with these two balls down at the bottom of the table, the red and the yellow tied up. Quite rightly taking yellows because it's much easier to develop the yellow than it is the red. The problem is, I don't know if he's just starting to run out of balls to develop that yellow. If he can come side cushion and back across, oh, he can. What a great shot. Brilliant. That's top draw. Now, his only problem now is he probably has to take that ball next, and the red just looks like it's in his path to get back out again. May just be able to nick a bit of the pocket and hit it thinner. Oh, he had enough. He could just screw across table. And this looks okay now. Can just drop this yellow in and drift across. Now joined on comms again by Neil Thomas. How you doing, Neil?
Good evening. This looks a good match.
Good weekend so far?
Fantastic.
Good.
Everything's gone to plan so far.
Well, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. Obviously a lot of the work's done beforehand, isn't it? So, or you can, we've got a good team though, obviously, like yourself, streaming people, top table.
Yeah.
We all come here to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's making sure the players are happy.
Yeah, it's that collective effort that makes a difference, and it's the teamwork.
Liam's come off, obviously, a bit of form from last weekend.
Yeah, I was just saying about that earlier.
Great achievement.
Yeah, for sure. Big field, that's 128 players and a lot of talent in that field, so I think that will give him probably one of the seminal moments in his career so far.
And boost his confidence in it coming into this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, he's a player that has been on my radar for a good few years now, obviously always in and around about that Stoke club. And I was saying about, it's just a plethora of talent there with people like...
he's got plenty of people to practice with, hasn't he?
Yeah. The obvious ones, Potsy Kendall and Ray Bone and...
Rob Ball.
Rob Bourne, Jimmy Croxton. But also you've got Jake McCartney, who's basically living out the club at the moment, who's playing there, and I know he's been practicing a lot with Liam.
Yeah.
It can only bring on your game.
Oh, 100%.
And I know Liam's also, I think he's struck up a bit of a friendship recently with Declan Brennan. So, and Declan's, when he's over here, he's kind of basing himself in that area as well. So.
Yeah. It's not bad practice partners, is it?
Well, there you go. It's, it can only bring on your game. But he's got a mountain of a man in more ways than one to get across. It's
Mr. TC, what a cue action he's got.
Yeah. I was just saying earlier that he's probably one of the drier spells of his career. I know we've had a year out through COVID, and when he moved across to the IPA, I think he took a few of the amateur titles and probably won one of the Opens as well. I can't recall, but it just doesn't seem to have been on his best form over the last sort of year or so. But even so, still
dangerous, isn't he?
Still gets into the. I mean, whether they make a
Yes.
semi-final down at London, he's still there and thereabouts, even though probably by his own admission he's not at the top of his game.
And probably, in my opinion, probably one of the top 4 or 5 in the betting, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, always, yeah.
Such an awesome potter. And a nice guy off the table as well.
Yeah.
Well, looks like he's definitely going to clear up here, hasn't he? He's got some break on him though, Nick, hasn't he?
Well, they both have.
Yeah,
Have.
Liam, to be fair, you would think that the size of Liam.
Yeah.
Again, it's down at the timing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mind you, I don't think he's run enough. Has he run through enough there?
I think he's okay. I think he can. Play it with side. Well, it might be. I mean, if it's straight, it's
Screwing back for the middle, isn't he?
He's screwing back.
Yeah. It's a poor shot, wasn't it? Like, careless.
Yeah. It ended up being betwixt and between, wasn't it? If it was an inch the other way, he would have been okay. Inch either way, he'd have been okay. But
I think the problem he had there was if he couldn't move the white any other way, he's rolling into, obviously, the black into the red, and probably could flick off, maybe going into the middle. So, again, top players obviously trying to eliminate any risk factor.
So there we go. See some scores from around the rest of the arena. The two.
Jamie Graham beating Greg Batten, the man that beat me.
Yeah.
5-2.
Ben Flack there in action against Kareem Barada, who's 5-0 up. And Wade Morley having a better weekend.
Yes, very good player.
Yeah.
See Matt Cook, another good little run he's having.
Yes, yeah. Didn't he have a bit of a run down at London? I think
he
we
did.
saw him.
He played really well. He beat. I think he beat Declan.
He did. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
He beat Declan, and I think he got to the quarters, or was it semis? It might have been the quarters.
Yeah.
But you got to take in the fact that Matt Cook's been a pro, so his ability is always there. But it's just, I think a lot of it's down to motivation and practice, isn't it?
Yeah. I saw him after he beat Declan actually, and he said he surprised himself because he hadn't really had any expectations. But sometimes those can be the moments where you just hang on a minute. I've just beat Declan, so let's get my act together. I can play this game.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's putting together another run this weekend.
That's what separates the top 16 consistency level.
Yeah.
Is they win matches that they should be winning.
Yeah.
And then the only crunch when it comes down to it, maybe, is when they play a player their own ability. It could come down to the break.
I think he's found the gap here as well. So.
I mean, Liam's done nothing wrong, has he?
No.
Really? He's pulled a good finish. And then in a blink of an eye, he's 5-2. Well, I think he will go 5-2 down, in my opinion. I don't see Tom mucking these up.
No.
Commentator's curse, probably. But he can get through to yellow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He found the gap,
Makes it a lot easier.
Which makes it even easier.
Has he left himself straight?
I think he's fine even if he has, because he just needs to screw back to the side cushion for the.
He's got an angle here, and he generates so much power.
Yeah.
We'll just stun this up the table, I would have thought. Give him options on both balls. There you go.
He gets it from nowhere, doesn't he?
Times the ball so well. It's run behind the back of the red, I would have thought. And he's checked it up. It takes elimination out, doesn't it? Oh, what's he done there? I thought he was nearly snookered himself.
Yeah.
And I think his reaction there when he hit that, I thought he was like a bit more close for comfort.
So you've been ploughing in some miles recently. You got a last minute call last week to go up and do the timekeeping in Stoke. That's not a 5-minute journey for you, is it?
I wasn't expecting that.
No.
But to be truthful, I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It probably opened my eyes up a little bit for the people that actually do that job.
Yeah.
And the concentration level you have to have all weekend to get that right. Because players, especially on a 15-second clock, when it goes into 10 minutes in some of them events, that 2 seconds, if you eat into their time by your fault, it's like, it's you got to take it quite seriously.
Yeah. There's a lot of people relying on you.
I did my first six red shootout, which I was quite chuffed about. I got it spot on. They didn't even have to reset it. The time and check it with the timekeeper. We both had the same time.
Brilliant.
So they were quite pleased, actually. I think anything that you take responsibility for, I'm quite serious when I do stuff.
Yeah.
And when he asked me to do it, I didn't know what to expect till I got there. 5 minutes training, thrown in the deep end, and away you go. But no, it was good. I enjoyed it because obviously, a lot of the players are on this tour, are on that tour, and you get to see everybody. And
you even jumped on and did a bit of commentary on the first day, I heard.
Yeah, I just did. It was a mixed match.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Nick, he was 6-1 down, and I left the commentary and then found out that he actually come back and won.
Yeah.
Because he was sort of like playing as if he'd lost.
Yeah.
He was just going around the table.
Yeah, I watched it. Didn't look like he had a chance of winning it.
And I don't know if he's been put the time in. I'm not too sure because when you speak to Mick, his attitude was, Neil's got an easy draw.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Gareth playing as well.
Yeah, for sure. And the bookmakers made him favourite, but I mean the thing is with Gareth, he's always going to be a danger in the field, and that he's absolutely high quality. But I think if he was making a book, he wouldn't have made himself favourite, just simply because the transition from playing with the American ball going back to the English ball. And I remember having a conversation with Rob Chilton about a similar thing, just making that transition across. It's
totally different.
It really is, and
especially with the class of field that was there. It's different if
you're playing season players. And in fact, I think the bookmaker made Scott Gillespie like 13-8, and ultimately,
oh my God,
ultimately Gareth beat him. But I mean. But even that, I thought, Scott Gillespie, a player in absolute fine form. I don't think he was necessarily on top of his game. He had other things on his mind because obviously, I think he gets married. I think he may get married this coming Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
He made some errors that you would not expect him to make.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
I mean, you can't take away from anything from Shane Thompson. What an achievement. With that field.
Oh, yeah, amazing. It was funny, actually, because during the first interview, I said to Jack Whelan that obviously Shane went through that field twice. But, notwithstanding the fact that Jack did it twice in London against 256 players. And I know, and Jack said, I think that Shane's achievement was bigger. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute, Jack. You won like...
I disagree.
You won... I mean that's okay. Out of the 256 players, there's a lot of players who are making up the numbers, but you still have a world-class lineup in there.
It's the matches that he has to win to win both of those.
And he has to win. And at one point in one of the games, I think it was 5-0 down.
Did he have to win 16 matches?
I think it was 16. I worked that out earlier. Yeah.
And Shane only had to win.
Yeah, so
10.
Yeah, it would have been 10. Yeah.
So I mean, it's still a great achievement, but I definitely think Jack's is the bigger one, and that's not. I'm good friends with Shane. I mean, he'll agree. I think. And
I mean, I think we can agree they're both incredible achievements, but I think Jack was putting himself down a little bit. I still think that was, when I asked him, obviously he's always going to hold his world title in the highest of regard, but that achievement has to be up there with them.
I'd be shocked if you played in a 2-5-6 event ever again for the same player to come out on top. I don't think it's good. It's the odds of it. It's massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Liam's got to be kicking himself there, hasn't he? Because the red that he's missed in the middle was, a shock, and then Liam's obviously had to play a defensive shot and gone for the only gap that he can leave him a shot on the red.
Yeah, it's probably not the Liam White that we've been used to seeing recently.
No.
And
that's probably his first chance he's had since 2-all. But that's massive, isn't it? Like 6-2, 5-3. He's still in the game, isn't he? But obviously with Tom's break, he's got to rely on him, dry breaking. Oh my God.
It's just brutal. Absolutely bullies that front ball.
I mean, at first glance, obviously looking at the bunch of free reds, if that red on the left-hand side goes into the bottom corner, I think Tom will go reds and probably take the one at the top of the table first.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, it must go in the corner, and that'll open up everything, won't it?
Yeah.
There we go. Cameraman, give us a shot. Superb. I think this could be over.
Greg Batten in the background there, setting up the balls.
He was losing 5-2, so obviously still battling away. I don't know if he's actually meant to flick the red there, and obviously he's perfect still because the red's going in the corner. Perfect to just stun the red in the left hand side, play the lower red into the middle. There we go. He would like to come down a bit lower. It's cues to red, use the yellow there, very clever.
Josh Kane, another man who just keeps knocking on the door, and sooner or later is going to open. He's currently 6-2 up against Ben Swinnerton.
Well, Ben's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Tough game.
Ben Flack 5-0 against Karen Barada.
Ex-European champion, isn't he, Ben?
Yeah. Declan beat Tom Price 7-1.
7-1, yeah.
Relentless. Oh, Greg Batten's fighting back. He's now trailing by 5 frames to 4, so he's won a couple. Scott Pope is trailing Christian Disney. Scott is making deep runs in everything at the moment. The West Country
He's been
man.
playing well, hasn't he? Yeah.
He really has, yeah. Made a semi-final last weekend, and he's taken some good scalps.
Yeah, he's beat some good players, hasn't he?
I think he beat Neil Rayburn the last time we were here.
Oh, he's the scores, yeah, you're right. 5-4.
Matt Cook now 4-1, look.
Adam Basu, another one that won the amateur.
Yeah.
Going well.
He was 3-0 down earlier to Kyle Brown, and I don't think he lost another frame after that. Maybe one more.
Matt Cook.
7-4. So, yeah, we're just going to we're waffling away about the scores, and of course Tom's putting his cue away.
Yeah,
we're gonna get a few words with him out in the interview room. We'll see you out there in just a moment, and thanks to Neil.
Cheers, Nick. Thank you very much.
So Tom, you came up against an informed player there in Liam. He's just won a big event last weekend, and you always know when you're playing Liam you're going to have a tough game, but it just didn't quite turn up for him there, did it?
Yeah, no, I think he had 4 breaks, 3 dry and 1 and off, and I missed a couple and he missed a couple. Yeah, but I was always having the first chance, to be fair.
Yeah, good high standard though.
Yeah, I mean there was a couple of bad misses, but no, apart from that, I'm happy.
Yeah. Seemed to be cueing the ball well.
Yeah, I guess so, as well as can be expected, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, we were talking on commentary that I don't want this to go the wrong way, but when your last win would have probably been on the IPA a couple of years ago, it seemed by your high standards maybe a bit of a barren spell, but you're still knocking on the door. Made a semi-final in London. Do you feel that it's all sort of coming together?
No, not really, Nick. To be honest, I haven't played well consistently for a long time, like you said, and you have to play consistently well to win one of these events, and I just haven't done that. But yeah, it starts here.
What is that? Is that practice?
Yeah, I guess so, and it don't help being as big as I am, Nick. To be honest, I'm probably the only one sweating my tits off out there. Everyone else is all right, and I'm pouring with sweat. But that's got to be one of the reasons. I don't help, I don't think, but we'll see how it goes. I'll get down to the gym next week, I think, Nick. And
is
then,
that what it is?
Well, yeah.
Possibly?
Yeah. I'll get down to the gym and I'll be all right.
Is there a McDonald's on the way to the gym?
Probably, but after next week, I ain't touching the McDonald's anymore, Nick. I've reached my peak now.
We're going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
We're going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
I'll stay off him as well. I'll stay off him as well.
Yeah.
You didn't like to say, did you?
No, I won't be rude like you, Nick.
Tom, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah.
We wish you the very best for the rest of the tournament.
Nice one.
We hope to see you have a really good deep run this weekend.
Yeah, let's hope so.
This is the one. Take it
Cheers,
easy,
Nick.
Cheers now.
Ta, mate.
Bye-bye.